Salt above gold. In a land where gold meant everything, one princess believed salt was worth far more. Her name was Marushka, and this is how love worked its quiet magic. Once upon a time, there was a king who cherished his 3 daughters as much as the apple of his eye. As the years passed and his hair grew snow white, he started to wonder which of his daughters should rule as queen after he was gone. It was a hard choice, because each daughter was clever and dear to him in equal measure. Finally, he made his decision. The one who loved him most would inherit the crown. He called his daughters to him and spoke with a voice as gentle as a summer breeze.
My daughters, you see I am growing old, and I do not know how long I have left with you. I must decide which of you will be queen after I am gone. But first, I wish to know, my dears, how much do you love me? Eldest daughter, you speak first. How do you love your father?
Oh, father, you are dearer to me than gold itself,
she exclaimed, giving his hand a sweet kiss.
Ah, very well. And you, middle daughter, how do you love your father?
Oh, my beloved father, I love you like my green garland, fresh and beautiful,
the middle daughter cried, wrapping her arms around his neck.
Very well. And you, my youngest daughter, how do you love me?
Dear Papa, I love you like salt,
Marushka said, gazing at him with warm-hearted affection. Her sisters burst out, voices sharp as thunder.
What? You love father only as much as salt?
The eldest scoffed.
How could you say something so silly?
The middle one added.
As truly, I love him just like salt,
Marushka answered, looking at her father even more kindly. But her father's face darkened, and his voice boomed with anger.
Is that all my own child values me? Like that worthless salt everyone sprinkles and spills without a thought? Begone! Go from my sight. If you think I'm worth no more than salt, then only when salt is worth more than gold will you ever be queen.
Marushka's heart ached so much she couldn't utter a single word. She had always done exactly what her father asked, and knew she could not stay at home after this. Quiet as falling snow, she packed her belongings and set out into the world, over hills and valleys, until she wandered deep into a dark, whispering forest. Suddenly, out of nowhere, an old woman appeared in her path.
Marushka, Marushka, tell me, where are you going? And why are you so tearful?
Oh, Granny, what could I say? You can't help me anyway.
Marushka replied, wiping her tears.
Oh, child, just tell me your story. Perhaps I can help. Don't you know that where there's grey hair, there's wisdom too?
So Marushka poured out her troubles, wishing only for her father to realize how dearly she loved him. The wise woman, who was no stranger to such tales, nodded knowingly to everything, and at once invited Marushka to stay and work with her. Marushka was relieved to find someone who would listen, and happily followed the old lady to a tiny hut tucked under the pine trees. Whatever they had, they shared. The wise woman fed Marushka with what little she could, which was a true comfort, as Marushka was hungry and thirsty after her long journey.
Now quickly to work. Can you spin, wind yarn, weave? Can you graze my sheep or milk them for me?
Not yet, Granny, but if you show me once, I'll learn,
Marushka promised eagerly.
I'll teach you everything. All in good time. You'll see how useful it is.
And so Marushka got right to work, busy as a bee, even though she didn't know everything at first. She rolled up her sleeves and tied on a snow-white apron, looking every bit the diligent girl she was meant to be. Meanwhile, back at the castle, her sisters were living the high life. They fussed over their father, hugged his neck non-stop, and nearly smothered him with all their loving attention. The eldest dressed in golden gowns each day, sparkling from head to toe. The middle one threw endless parties, filling the halls with music and dance. Life was as easy as pie for them. But soon the king began to suspect that his eldest loved gold more than him. And when the middle daughter announced she wanted to marry, he realized even a green garland of love could fade. Sometimes thoughts of Marushka tugged at his heart, but he tried to brush them aside.
What does it matter? She only loved me as much as useless Salt.
One day there was to be a grand feast at the castle. Maybe even suitors had come for the middle daughter. Suddenly, the cook came running in like a bolt of lightning.
Your Majesty! Disaster! Disaster!
He stammered.
What's wrong? Have you lost your mind?
The king thundered.
It's true. I can't believe it. All the salt is gone. Either it melted or sank into the ground, but there's not even a grain left. How am I supposed to season anything?
Nonsense. Just send someone to get more.
But where? There's not a speck of salt in any house in the whole kingdom.
Then use something else, or cook only dishes that don't need salt.
The king snapped. The cook had no choice but to do as he was told. He cooked unsalted meals. First, whatever he could, then only sweet things. The feasts became strange and tasteless. Guests slowly stopped coming until no one new ever arrived. After all, what's a feast without bread and salt and a little good cheer? The king wandered the halls, restless and gloomy. His daughters were as glum as grey skies. Their golden days had vanished. There was plenty of gold, but not a pinch of salt, even if they'd searched high and low to the ends of the earth. As time passed, people lost all appetite for food. Their longing for even a pinch of salt grew desperate. The livestock suffered too. Cows and sheep stopped giving milk for want of salt. People moved like ghosts, falling ill. The king and his daughters looked like shadows of themselves. It was a true curse over the whole land. For a grain of salt, they would have paid its weight in gold. The king finally realized what a precious gift salt was, and how unfair he'd been to Marushka. All the while, Marushka was doing wonderfully. She learned every skill and became used to all kinds of work. She knew nothing of the hardships at her father's castle or in his kingdom. But the wise woman knew all, and when the time was right, she called Marushka to her.
My dear, I told you that sooner or later your time would come. Your time is now. It's time to go home.
Oh, Granny, how can I go home when my father doesn't want me?
Marushka protested, her voice trembling.
Don't cry, child. Everything will be all right. Salt has become more precious than gold back there. Now you may return to your father.
The wise woman explained everything Marushka didn't know. Then she added,
You have served me faithfully. Now tell me, what do you wish for as your reward?
You have taught me so well, Granny, and cared for me so kindly. I want nothing but a handful of salt so I can bring it to my father as a gift.
Nothing else? Don't you know I can grant you anything?
Nothing more, just the salt.
If you value salt so much, may you never be without it. I give you nothing else but this golden twig. When the wind blows from the south, follow it, cross 3 valleys and 3 hills, then stop and tap the twig on the ground. Where you tap, the earth will open. Everything inside will be yours, your wedding clothes and more.
Marushka thanked the wise woman, took the golden twig and a pouch full of salt, and set out, sad to leave such a warm-hearted friend, but hopeful to see her again someday. The wise woman smiled kindly and called after her.
Stay good and true, my girl, and life will always be kind to you. Don't worry about me one bit.
As they reached the edge of the forest, Marushka turned to thank the wise woman one last time. But she was gone. Marushka stood all alone, her heart heavy, but quick as a wink, she hurried toward her father's castle. She returned home, but after so long away, and with her head wrapped in a scarf, no one recognized her or wanted to let her see the king.
Please let me through. I bring the king a gift more precious than gold, a cure for what ails him.
When they told the king, he ordered her brought before him. When she arrived, Marushka asked for some bread. The king gave the order, but sighed deeply.
We have bread, but no salt.
What we don't have, we can find.
She said, sliced the bread, untied her pouch, sprinkled salt on the bread, and offered it to the king.
Salt!
The king cried out with joy.
What a precious gift. How can I ever repay you? Ask whatever you wish, you shall have it.
I ask for nothing, Papa. Just love me as you would love salt.
Marushka answered with her sweetest voice, just as she used to, and uncovered her head. The king nearly fainted with joy when he saw his beloved Marushka. He begged her to forgive what had happened. She embraced him, holding him close, and finally found her voice.
It all turned out for the best.
News spread through the castle and the city. Marushka, the youngest princess, had returned and brought salt with her. Everyone rejoiced. Even Marushka's sisters were delighted, not so much for their sister, but for the salt, hoping they'd at least get a taste. Marushka, warm-hearted as ever, welcomed even them with a round of bread with salt. She gave a pinch of salt to everyone who came, and when her father worried that she'd run out, he begged her,
Don't give it all away. What if we run out again? Go easy with the good stuff.
There's always enough, Papa.
And truly, no matter how much she gave, there was always enough salt left in her pouch, as if it were never ending. The whole land came alive again, blooming like spring after a long winter. The king's sickness melted away as if it had never been. In his joy, he summoned the elders of the city and kingdom and declared Marushka queen. When Marushka was crowned beneath the wide blue sky, she felt a warm breeze brush her cheeks, the southern wind. At once, she confessed to her father all that the wise woman had taught her. She followed the wind, crossed 3 valleys and 3 hills, and when she stopped and tapped the golden twig on the ground, the earth opened before her. She stepped into a glittering palace made entirely of ice, ceiling, walls, and floor, all sparkling, dazzling like diamonds. Along the shining corridors were little crystal tunnels, and from these tunnels bustled tiny little people carrying lanterns, welcoming Marushka with cheerful voices.
Welcome, welcome, Queen. We've been waiting for you. Our Lady ordered us to show you everything, because it all belongs to you now.
They chattered all around her, their lanterns twinkling as they darted up and down the walls like fireflies, making the palace glisten with 100 sparkling reflections. The little people led Marushka through the shimmering halls and tunnels, where icicles hung from the ceiling like glistening silver. They brought her to a magical garden where there were crystal-clear red roses, daisies, and all sorts of incredible flowers. The little people picked the most beautiful rose and handed it to their new queen. Marushka sniffed it, but it had no scent.
But what is this? I've never seen anything so beautiful.
It's all salt.
Really? Salt grows here?
Yes, everything you see is made of salt. Take as much as you like, Marushka. No matter how much you take, it will never run out.
Marushka thanked the little people, said goodbye, and climbed out of the earth, leaving the ground open behind her. When she returned home and showed her father the rose, telling him all that had happened, the king saw that the wise woman had given his daughter a wedding dress more marvelous than anything he could have ever provided. But Marushka never forgot the wise woman. She ordered a beautiful carriage and set off with her father to find her again, vowing never to let her go. Marushka knew every forest path, but no matter how many times they searched, There was no sign of the tiny cottage or the wise woman, only the whispering forest, quiet as a secret. At last, they gave up and returned home. There was no more salt in the magic pouch, but Marushka knew now where salt is born. As long as they took, there was always enough, and salt never ran out for them again.